You are listening to Proof of Love with Tatiana Moroz, Dr. Stephanie Murphy, and Lauren Kasovitz. This show may contain adult content, language, and humor and is intended for mature audiences. If that's not you, please stop listening. Nothing you hear on Proof of Love is intended as financial advice, legal advice, therapy, or really anything other than entertainment. Please take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. Oh, and if you're hearing us on an affiliate network, the ideas and views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the network that you're listening on, or of any of the sponsors or affiliate products that you may hear about on the show. Now that that's squared away, let's start the show. Show me your heart. I know that it's beating. Tell me that you love me too. So I know your heart is true. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. Will you be in New York for Blockchain Week? If so, come by 235 Fifth Ave for a special community event that brings together some of the brightest stars in crypto. Saturday night, May 11th from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Join Tatiana Moroz, Michael Salvi, Naomi Brockwell, Bailey Rutzel, and so many more of your favorite crypto friends for a night of music, comedy, and live entertainment. It's free to attend, so register now. Go to CryptoStarEvents.com. And also, I want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Chia.net, BlockTap.io, Edge, Sonic Scoop, Bitcoin Magazine, Lennox Group, and of course, Crypto Media Hub. So make sure you go to CryptoStarEvents.com and get your tickets now. Thank you to our sponsor, BlockTap.io. Please go to their website and check out their Universal Cryptocurrency API to get reliable cryptocurrency data. BlockTap.io. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Proof of Love. The point of this show is to teach emotional intelligence to weirdos. So if you're a weirdo, you've come to the right place. Thank you for listening.
I'm a weirdo.
This is Tatiana Moroz. I'm your host. I've also got the other hosts with me today, Stephanie. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Stephanie's.
Hi, I'm a weirdo. I don't know what to say. If you're a weirdo too, you're in good company.
Excellent. Lauren Kasovitz is also joining us today. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, everyone. Another fellow weirdo here. Nice to meet ya.
Awesome. So we're really excited for today's show because so far we've had a lot of different guests, but we've never had a couple on the show. So today we're bringing in a couple very good friends of mine from the crypto space, Robert Viglione and Rosario Pabst, who are married and killing it. They are both from the company Horizen, which formerly some of you may know it as Zencash. Their ticket is Zen, and it's boosting today because the markets are doing really well. And they're going to talk to us a little bit about all the crazy changes that have been going on in their life. But before we bring them on, so I just wanted to say really quick, I want to thank our sponsor, Crypto Media Hub. If you need any marketing or PR services, please go to cryptomediahub.com. And now, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Are you guys pumped?
Yeah, I'm pumped. Let's get to the good stuff already.
All right, great. Well, welcome to the show, Rosario and Rob. Thank you for coming on Proof of Love.
Hey, Tatiana. Thank you for having us.
Hey, Tatiana. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Lauren. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, awesome. We're so excited. So you two have recently had a big change in your lives. Is that right?
Oh, boy.
That we have. Yes, exactly. A little 9-pound, 3-ounce change.
That's a big baby.
Tell me about
it. Right. We don't need to tell Rosario. So for people who don't know about your history, I'm really excited to talk about new motherhood, the move and everything. But can you give people a little bit of background about what is the Horizen Project, how you guys got together, and just walk us through it?
Well, I guess I could take the Horizen Project. We've launched as Zencash a couple of years ago, I think May of 2017, to be a privacy coin, to extend what we thought was a really cool technology originating from Zcash on zero-knowledge cryptography. And we wanted to take that and apply it into a whole bunch of different product domains. So we launched our project back then, and it's been a whirlwind since. We've expanded significantly. We've weathered the crypto apocalypse of a winter that we just hopefully, knock on wood, emerged out of. We've gone through a lot of flux on the team side. The community's gone through ups and downs with the market. And our technology path has evolved in a very fun direction, I think. So overall, the project these days, what we're really trying to do is ultimately our goal is to help individuals own their digital footprint to the extent where they can choose not to have a digital footprint, or, instead of companies monetizing their digital footprint, for them to be able to do so. So there's a lot going on in the technology space and everything that we're doing as an organization to make that happen. It's a really ambitious goal, but I think it's a really liberating one. So for me personally, it started off from being a really big libertarian and wanting to do anything I could to really just contribute towards freedom in the world. And there's so many different ways to do that. I was drawn to Bitcoin for that exact reason, because I wanted to separate money from state, and then looking at where we can extend the technology beyond that, especially in the privacy domain. It's just a lot of fun. And I think there's a lot that we can do instead of, 10 years ago, I was just really, really disgruntled and complaining a lot to my friends about politics. These days, I'm very optimistic, and I don't care about politics at all because we're actually building free societies with this technology. So
yeah, I think that's an evolution that a lot of people go through, right? Like you kind of start off thinking, oh man, I see all these problems around me. I wish I could fix this about the world. Maybe politics is the way to go, and then so you get interested in that and you get politically active. And then later on, you start getting more excited about, hey, there's actually things that I can do that are a lot more immediate that can affect my life. And I don't have to depend on going through this whole political process. I can actually just do them right now, like creating software and, working on myself, working on my relationships, changing my life, changing my job situation or where I live or something like that. So I can really relate to what you said about that, Rob.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So I think we live in an amazing time where we can actually take control of our lives. And, honestly, I feel a little conned by, caring about politics and thinking that we can actually make a difference there. Maybe I shouldn't be so pessimistic on politics, but, I'm just much more optimistic on, technology and just kind of natural, organic humans, redefining our associations with each other and using technology to make it happen with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and all that. But it goes way beyond just the technology. This really is, in my opinion, also a social revolution.
Yeah, I think that's really what's brought a lot of us together is the prospect of a better world. How about you, Rosario? How did you get involved in this? So you and Rob have been married for quite a long time, but were you also intrigued by cryptocurrency early on? Because now you're the senior vice president of product and engineering over at Horizen. So you're obviously quite involved in the company. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yes. So the way I like to say that I got reeled in by Rob. So my background is in software and managing projects. And I met Rob when I was still in the Air Force, and I was running some satellite programs in Los Angeles. And so Rob has always intrigued me in terms of his background and his passion for liberty and just educating himself. And as we started dating, I was like, well, this person is certainly not an easy person to be with. He's not simple. He's always trying to expand himself and those around him. So that I found that very, very intriguing. So I was not initially interested in Bitcoin. I thought that was a super crazy idea. So back in, I think it was 2010 or 2011, when Rob sent me an email to work about Bitcoin. And he sent me this email and he said, this is going to change the world. And I rolled my eyes. I thought like, okay, this is another one of his crazy ideas, crazy things. Just because I'm not initially, Rob calls me a libertarian at heart, but I'm not politically motivated. I'd like to do my own thing. And I guess I'm a little bit pessimistic about any type of political change that can happen. I just think that systems that are in place are really hard to change right now. So my journey with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency didn't start right away. So I was not initially attracted by the idea. But then as time went by and I saw the change and some level of adoption, it did provide me kind of a pull. For Horizen, it wasn't until we started the launch process of going through Zencash, and I started helping out Rob just because it was part of my background. And I loved it. I loved working with people all over the world. I love the social change that cryptocurrencies and the technology itself provided. And having grown up in Nicaragua, the part that attracted me the most was being able to give people an opportunity for change without changing their physical geography. So that was something that really, really motivated me and kind of reeled me into, and now I'm fully in. So I love it.
So tell me, guys, is it hard to work together? I mean, you guys have been doing this. It's been a crypto winter. I know I'm knocking it in with the really hard questions right off the bat, but you've had a lot of changes.
No, that's a great question.
I mean, I would think it would be really a little bit challenging and also finding some personal space. So can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Try working. So not only do we work together, we work from home. So we're together all the time. And now we have a baby. So,
hey, this is a dream come true for me. I have a hot wife, a baby. You see her all the time. You're working on something, inspirational. What more could you want?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great to me, but
Right.
Has it always been that way? Like, how long have you been married, and how much of that time have you actually been working together from home? I know you had a background where you were in the military at one point, right?
yeah. So
Oh, no, please go ahead.
This is a question for Rob. How long have you been married?
Wait, I'm supposed to remember. So 2014. So we got married in 2014, sometime in June. So yeah, it's been.
So it's been we've been married just about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but-
And then so for that whole time, when did the company start, and then how long have you been working together?
Yeah, so actually, this goes back even further. So I tried dating Rosario like 10 years ago, and I tried for like 2 years to get her to go out with me, and we actually worked not together exactly, but we were both working for the Air Force in the same building. So she was literally around the corner for me, and I would stop by and give her coffee and whatever little snacks I could. Yeah, chocolates and all that kind of stuff, just try to get her to go out with me. It didn't work for 2 years, but so I was persistent, and I think persistence and grit are really important, personality traits. So it finally worked out. She finally went out with me. So for the first, I would say I don't know, three years or so that we were together. Oh, no, maybe the first 2 years we were together. We were working literally on the same floor in the same building. So not the same project, but we got to drive into work together every day. We got to see each other in the office when we wanted to, and when we didn't want to, we didn't have to. And then we would drive home together every evening. So we had that from the very start. And then we went through a period where I was overseas for a couple of years, so we were separated, not living together. And then when we got back together, we did the traditional thing. And I was, well, maybe it's not so traditional, but I was going back to school, and she was had a job, a normal job, working software for a utility company separately. So we had that space every day. But we've been working together, I think, every day for basically the last year and a half. So I love it, though, personally. Maybe Rosario can comment on that.
It has its pros and cons. I definitely love being around Rob and working together, but there are some challenges. So you need your personal space, and he needs his personal space. I need my personal space as well. So I think one of the key things is to carve out that time for yourself and get away a little bit. Right now,
how do you do that though when you've got a lot of work going on, and do you have separate areas of the house? By the way, I'm really interested in this because this is a living arrangement that I have practiced myself, and so I'm looking for tips. Do you work in the same room together? Do you have office spaces that are separate from the kitchen and the bedroom and other things like that? How do you prevent the work from creeping into the personal space, and where do you draw the boundaries?
Well, so for the last, those are great questions, and I wish I had good tips, but I'll just tell you from my experience. So for the first year of us launching Horizen, now formerly Zencash, it was all in. So there was no separation. There was no boundaries in.
Oh boy, so it was laptops all over the place during dinner and in the bedroom and that kind of thing.
Exactly. So we were all in, and we knew that. So we said, okay, the next year or two, it's going to be fully in. But as time goes by, you start getting cranky and you just need that personal space. So what we try to do, and Rob gets annoyed at my typing. So
no, that's not true. I got you a new laptop that has a better keyboard. So.
Apparently I type too angrily or loudly. So.
Oh, girl, I can relate.
Very passionate typer.
Yes. Okay, so you sort of decided that this was a temporary thing that you were going to commit to for a year or two, or however long it took to get the launch going off the ground. And then you kind of had the understanding that at some point you would kind of roll things back and take a little bit more personal time. Is that right?
Yes. And now we make an effort to just try to work separately. So, and then that way, at the end of the day, we have something new to talk about or some new insight, and we're both fresh into it rather than just being side by side.
Do you ever text message each other or email each other while you're in the same house in separate rooms?
All day. Yeah. All day.
Right.
But hey, we do end-to-end encrypted messages. So
that's very important. Yeah. You don't want anyone else.
We don't want the man spying on us.
I have a question for you guys. When you were working everything out and knowing that you did need that time to yourselves, was that something you actively discussed, or is it something that kind of just happened naturally?
So I would say we for sure discussed this. I mean, I like to think we're two rational adults where we knew that there would be some potential conflict, and just when you're around someone all the time, like little things can start bugging you. But if you just address these issues and you're realistic about it, I think it's easier. Just I think many problems, are at least dampened just by addressing them, acknowledging that they exist, and trying to talk through them. And then naturally from there, we just kind of work on different sides of the house. Maybe I'll go to a cafe, for the afternoon or whatnot. But I think it's been pretty good so far. Now we have a place where we have basically two separate office areas, which is really nice.
Well, I think that's great. I mean, it ties into something we've been talking about pretty much consistently since we started, and that's communication. And communication really being the most important thing. And if you have that open dialogue from day one about difficult things, little things like typing on a keyboard and being nice about it, I think that's really huge.
I was super nice about the keyboard incident. No, but I completely agree. Communication is everything. And, it's not likely that two people will agree on everything. For sure not, right? But as long as you get out there, at least verbalize what you're feeling, and, the other person's at least respectful enough to be receptive to hearing you. You still don't have to agree, but it still helps a ton.
Yeah, just discussing it and having that conversation. I agree.
So I
have a question, actually. What happens, because, Rob is the CEO and Rosario is not. What happens if Rosario doesn't like your decision? You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you're working for somebody and the CEO is making a decision that you don't agree with, you complain to your spouse and you say, oh, that guy's such an idiot, or she's so stupid. But she can't do that with you. So how do you guys resolve that? Does that ever end up falling over?
She does it with me. No, she does it probably more so. So no. I mean, I don't know, Rosario, do you want to comment on that? But I don't think you ever hold back on anything.
No, I don't hold back. But so Rob and I have a very, or try to be very respectful of one another. But there is, when we have work disagreements, it's a little heightened because you don't have because we work together, we don't have those natural barriers that you would have being in a normal work environment where you have just a boss where you have or a coworker you have no personal relationship with outside of work. So you have to check your emotions. And sometimes if I feel strongly or if he feels strongly about something, we just have to, it can get emotional sometimes because we don't have that natural barrier, but I'd like to believe that we are able to overcome those differences if I have an opinion that Rob doesn't share. So I like to say, so Rob's the nicest guy that you'll ever meet, but he's not a chump. So that's, so for as much influence that I'd like to have as a wife and spouse and partner, ultimately he'll make his own decisions and won't get bullied into it. So, but I will try to bully, definitely.
Rosario told me from day one, don't rely on her for my self-esteem. So that was really,
I did.
Really good advice from the very start. But
I don't like weak men.
No.
Exactly. Well, it's just healthy,
Ouch.
Practice not to rely on anyone else for your self-esteem, I think.
Exactly. Completely.
Being a relationship is going to be more successful if you know how to stand on your own 2 feet and give yourself the love that you need. And, maybe sometimes you can go to your partner for some reassurance, but your main source of love and self-confidence should kind of be coming from your inner well.
Okay. I think the healthiest relationships are those where you have two, strong individuals or two individuals who love themselves, respect themselves, and then also respect each other. And because they respect each other, they respect the individuality that they still have. They also respect and cherish their relationship, but then they're willing to constantly help each other grow as individuals. I think unhealthy relationships are kind of the opposite, where people try to subsume the other individual or think about each other collectively only as a couple and not themselves as individuals. I think could have long-term consequences that aren't necessarily good.
Rob, do you think that you liked it that Rosario laid down the law early on?
Absolutely.
That sounds like a pretty harsh thing. So you liked it?
No, likewise. I don't want a chump of a woman either. So no, I very much appreciate that she was a very strong individual, and that attracted me to her. I wasn't looking for someone that I would dominate or make subservience or anything like that. That's just not at all what I'm attracted to.
So now what happens? Because you guys have moved and now you've got a little baby. So that's a whole other level of complication. How has that been going?
Well, I think it's amazing. So I'll tell you, it's totally easy. It's really amazing. There's no downside. It's just all pure upside when you get to look at this beautiful little face every morning. But maybe Rosario has more comments on that.
So it's definitely changed or added another variable to our dynamics with between Rob and I and work, because I still have work demands, both from a personal perspective, but also expectations of others. And Horizen continues moving, and the machine continues moving. So I have that personal, pressure for myself, plus having this fantastic new experience of creating life and having just this little person depend on you at all times. So it's definitely been challenging and opened my eyes to and appreciate most of the women in the world who don't have the opportunity to work from home and don't have maybe a supportive partner or family members to help out with the process. So it's definitely a lot of work and has made me more empathetic towards women in the workplace. It's very hard, but it's also a lot of fun and a lot of mixed emotions sprinkled throughout the day.
What do you think about people waiting? Because a lot of times people are thinking, I have to wait until I'm ready. And then sometimes that point never really comes. I mean, there's always some sort of a delay. Do you have any opinion on that? Obviously, it's a very personal decision, but what are your thoughts? Because, a lot of the women that are listening here, we're all workaholics and, maybe they want to have a child or something, but they're worried that it might impede their ability to have a career. I mean, how do you find that balance? How do you make sure that your professional goals are not lost because now you have a little baby?
So I'm still trying to answer that question myself just because it's been so new. So I've just recently given birth a month and a week. So it's just been 5 weeks. So I'm trying to answer that question for myself because there are a lot of additional demands for women, and not wanting to sound like a boo-hoo, poor me or poor women, but it is a matter of fact that you have the physical, emotional challenges, and you still have to operate. So you have all these things that you have to take care of. and then still be creative, and then still excel at your job and position, and be as efficient and as effective as you were before the baby. So for me, waiting, so it was definitely my career was definitely one of the reasons why I initially thought I didn't want to have family, because my career is so important to me that I didn't want anything, quote unquote, slowing me down. But now it's my opportunity to redefine that, and I have this great opportunity to be able to make my own schedule and work from home. So I'm able to create that story for myself, and hopefully inspire other women to do the same.
Yeah, I can really relate to what you just said, Rosario. There's a lot of pressure on everybody, but, just because of our biology and our choices that we have, on women especially. And if you're someone who's really excited about your career, it can feel like a conflict that you might want to have a family, but you also don't want something to slow you down. So it's really inspiring to hear what you said.
Yeah, and thank you for your honesty, because I think a lot of women feel the pressure to say, oh, I want a baby so bad, but sometimes it is a little bit kind of intimidating, and some people don't really feel so sure about it, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with one and you're like, oops. I mean, it's a pretty big decision.
Yeah, I definitely, I wasn't, I've always been focused on my career, and I was never one of those little girls or women who wanted a family per se. But as getting older and having the clock, the biology clock, closer and closer and ticking, and also having a partner that I wanted to create life with. So something that I said, well, it'd be such a pity to have both of us not, we're creating software together. How about we create something that goes beyond software and it's just life itself? So it's been great, and we'll see. I guess I'll give you a better answer in a few months once I hope I figure things out a little bit more, Tatiana.
Awesome.
How about you, Rob? Do you feel like you had kind of pressure on you because you're getting older, or were you just gung-ho about it? Did you have any conflict?
No, I thought the timing was perfect, but I am a big fan of waiting a little bit later in life. Now, maybe I'm backward rationalizing this, but I do think that, one, that you're better able to, whether even just financially, you're better able to take care of a little kid. Two, you've had more time to understand yourself and, how to be a better partner in a relationship, so you can develop a more stable relationship, which I think is also really helpful to raising a child. Right? And then I think all of these things combine to put you in a position where you can offer the child, a better life, better parenting, better contributions towards helping them become a better person, because you've spent more time becoming a better person yourself. If you're, you have a kid when you're younger, I think biologically, maybe it makes even more sense to have a kid, much younger, but, you're still a kid yourself. Maybe that's a function of our modern age. I have no idea, but I think I was nowhere near ready to be a father at 18 years old, as I am now at 38 years old.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of waiting for myself, and without the biology in the mix. But I feel better prepared. I've lived a full life before this. I've had a full career. I've been able to. I feel like I'm going to be able to provide my daughter a better sense of who she is, and be able to influence her in a very positive way, because I'm much more aware of just more educated and more have more empathy and awareness of what it's like to be a woman in the workforce, and also just growing up and the growing pains. So I feel like waiting is better.
Yeah, you're able
personally
to model for your child how to be an independent person with your own personality and your own life. And I think that's really valuable. I definitely agree with what you're saying about the tension between, maybe biologically it makes sense to have children younger, but like psychologically, with the emotional side of things, parenting is really challenging. And the better you know yourself and the better you have worked out your own issues, the better you can be a parent to someone else. And that really can't be overstated, So good for you guys. I think that's cool that you were thinking about this and that you planned it out and it all worked out for the best.
Well, thank you.
Well, we're getting close to our time, but I just had one question. Like, maybe this goes a little earlier in the interview, but I'm curious, like, before you got married or when you first got married or anywhere along the line in your relationship, really, did you ever take any classes or like go to see a couples therapist or read books about like communication? Did you ever like have anyone else kind of teach you about how to have a successful relationship with good communication? Because you're mentioning that a lot. Or did you kind of just figure it out on your own?
Hey, for me, I think it was trial and error by having so many bad relationships. So,
Likewise here.
and maybe, I mean, I'm joking by saying bad ones, but of course, I think trial and error and learning yourself and learning what it's like to actually, have to subsume some of your own inherent selfishness to make another person feel respected and make sure that you're jointly optimizing your lives instead of individually just maximizing your own life.
Mm-hmm. So it's about shifting your perspective, thinking of yourself as a unit or something bigger than yourself. Got it.
Are there any challenges that come with moving? I mean, some people are thinking about escaping the US or they just want to change, but you guys did a pretty big change in the middle of a big life change. How has that been? Do you think that that's something that other people can attempt at the same time? Are you happy, or do you guys miss the States?
So I'll just tee this up with a quick summary. Was we found out that Rosario was pregnant, and then within about 2 weeks, we had our house packed up. We were living in South Carolina. We had the house packed up. We basically got rid of half of our stuff, put the other half in a storage pod, and then shipped out to, actually spent a month in California, Southern California, with some family there, and then went out to, we relocated to Milan, Italy to help stand up a research and development engineering team there for Horizen. So we spent about 4 months in Italy and then decided to move to Panama from there. And we got to Panama a couple months ago. So all of this, right after finding out that Rosario was pregnant, and then doing just numerically. So she saw an OB-GYN in Southern California. She saw a different OB-GYN in Milan, Italy. And then another one, actually, we were in Nicaragua for a couple of weeks. And then another OB-GYN. So 4 OB-GYNs, gynecologists. I don't have to explain that to you women here, but for any other listeners. So 4 OB-GYNs.
That's the lady doctor.
Yeah, exactly. The lady doctor, thank you. 4 of them in a single pregnancy is kind of insane. And then we actually finally moved into our apartment that we're living in right now 2 days before inducing labor. So, and we induced labor a little bit earlier.
Rosario, how was that for you?
So I'm a trooper.
Yeah, obviously.
Somebody get this woman a spa day.
Yeah, seriously. Did you plan on that though? Like, were you saying, I want our baby to be born in Panama? Or like, why did you choose to do it that way?
No, it was just, so it was not planned in this way. So it was just honestly, it had to do with where we were with Horizen. So Horizen was dictating our location, our geography, what we needed to do. And, being pregnant wasn't going to slow us down in that way. And just, you adapt and overcome in any situation. So it was just, just trying to be as flexible as possible and continue moving with the pregnancy. But at times it was very physically challenging as I was schlepping around a 9-pound baby in me. But yeah, so I was lucky that I had a healthy pregnancy, because otherwise I don't think I would have been able to do that. So it was all because I had a healthy pregnancy.
I just want to say, I'm really happy that little Anna Sophia has dual citizenship though. That was a plus.
For sure. Yeah, I thought maybe you planned that.
Well, I did. I don't know if Rosario will admit that she cared about that, but so that was something important to me. I thought was a cool benefit. And, so being able to do what was right for the business at the time and also, getting the dual citizenship was just a double benefit.
So how do you guys make friends down there? Because, Rosario's a new mom, and that kind of brings its own, I don't know, challenges, and it's sort of an evolution of life. And at that point, a lot of moms want to hang out with other moms to give them tips, but you guys are down there. Do you guys ever get lonely? How's the crypto community down there?
No, I mean, we have a very active social life, actually. So there's really cool expat community here, especially where we live. That so we moved here because part of the leadership for the organization is already living here. So right away we had instant friends and being constantly introduced to new people. So it's actually probably more social life than Rosario wanted, being so late term pregnancy. But I mean, it's been fun.
Rosario, would you do it again?
I would. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And, I loved being in Italy and setting up an office there and being pregnant. And I love my Italian doctor. He was awesome. So yeah, I would do it all over again just because things worked out and I was healthy, the baby was healthy, and yeah, it's been wonderful so far.
Well, that's really interesting to hear about your path. And I mean, it sounds like you're just kind of up for any kind of adventure as long as you're doing it together. And that's a really cool and inspiring spirit. So thanks for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this, guys. We have to get you back though, and we want to get an update. But before we let you go, I've been hearing that Zen's been making a really big impact in Venezuela. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's been, we would like to make an even larger impact, but we're for sure trying to do what we can. And we've been helping out. So we have a very small, little support operation and just across the border in Colombia to help out with Venezuelan refugees. So really, the way we structured the entire system was to try to have very low entry barriers and have different ways for people to earn a living by participating. So, helping out with refugees across the border in Colombia is one step. And, we've been handing out paper wallets and trying to, educate people and teach them. Government money has, I think is very inferior personally. Despite the crazy volatility in crypto, I think the government money has a long run value of basically zero. Despite what they say about, our industry having valuations, I think government money valuations long run are zero. Fiat currencies always die. I think that's the path they're on. They're designed to just inflate away value every day, basically. So, and the problem is much worse in countries like Venezuela that have adopted their brilliant socialism and just completely mismanaged and destroyed their economies. And you see this in the currencies just completely collapsing. So education has been a really big part for us, especially in the refugee population. And then just the nature of our system, we try to help Venezuelans set up like mining operations, setting up nodes to earn income by running our software, which is less energy or electricity intensive than, say, mining. And then the Venezuelan government hasn't been all that friendly towards people participating in cryptocurrencies, and they've been going after miners. So the way they do that is by seeing a spike in electric bill and then targeting people with a spike in electric bill. So for us to be able to help people set up nodes and earn an income without that big spike in electric bill has been nice. And then we focus on like Spanish language documentation, educational material. We set up a Horizen Academy to help educate people on cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and how to basically liberate themselves with this new peaceful revolution that we have. So it's a starting point, but there's so much more that I want to see in these areas. Unfortunately, a lot of our activity has been dampened or slowed down by the crypto apocalypse that we've just gone through. So it was, from an organizational perspective, it sucked. Our budget collapsed 80 to 90%. So we had to figure out how do we still deliver key technological innovations and keep the community together and all that on a budget that just collapsed 90%. So we managed to do it. We survived, and not just survived, but things are looking much better now. We've continued to expand into the winter, which is nice. So hopefully now that our budget's recovering a bit, we can ramp up some of these operations that have been much more limited than I would have liked.
Well, it sounds like you guys have your hands full, but you're handling it really well. And it sounds like the most important thing is that you have a good team of you and Rosario and the baby, and you guys have a lot of good communication. So I think that's a little bit of proof of love right there.
Guys, thank you for having us. Yeah.
Awesome. So if people want to find out more about your journey and what's going on with the Horizen project, where can they go, guys?
So, I mean, there's the Horizen.global website, which is kind of the one-stop shop for everything Horizen related, and you'll see us in all the comm channels there all the time. So, come join the fun.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Lauren, any final words? Stephanie?
I thought this was great, and it kind of confirms all the things we've been talking about in a very philosophical and hypothetical way. And it's nice to have a married couple who work together, who've created life together, who've moved together, really have that communication and that solidity. I think it's beautiful. So at the sake of being cheesy, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Make sure that you share this show with your friends, proofoflovecast.com, and give us a like on iTunes. We definitely need all the support that we can get. Thank you very much to our sponsor, Crypto Media.
We got a lot of support. Sorry, Tatiana, I stepped on you, but go ahead.
Wait, what did I say?
You were thanking the sponsor, and I was saying, you said we need all the support we can get. I think we're doing great. We've got lots of listens on the show, but we could always use more, so...
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying, we're not a big budget show where we can be spreading the word. So we're definitely dependent on our audience. And luckily, we've been getting a lot of really positive reviews. I think that we are starting to make a little change. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
and we would love to get some more listener questions. So if you want to go to our website at proofoflovecast.com and send us your listener questions or guest suggestions, or we like questions better than guest suggestions. I think we want to control the guests, but if you have someone outstanding, maybe we'll listen, but we always like personal questions. So if you have a question about love, shoot us an email through proofoflovecast.com.
Preferably an embarrassing one.
Yes, the more embarrassing, the better. And make up a funny nickname.
Yes, please
Bonus points if you do that.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday on Proof of Love. Show me your heart. I know that it's beating. Tell me that you love me too. So I know your heart is true. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. 'Cause I need some proof of love. Do you like cryptocurrency, politics, economics, activism, or art? Then check out The Tatiana Show, where you can learn all about it in a fun and non-intimidating way, as if you're just hanging with friends. Go to thetatianashow.com and listen now.
Ross Ulbricht is serving a double life sentence without parole for all nonviolent charges for creating a website. Please help free this peaceful man. Go to freeross.org and sign and share the petition.
Thank you for listening to Proof of Love. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Proof of Lovecast. More episodes can be found at proofoflovecast.com. And make sure you leave a review on iTunes and tell your friends. Proof of Love has been brought to you by CryptoMediaHub.com, a boutique marketing and PR agency for Bitcoin and beyond.